Hey, what is happening, guys? Good morning. My name is Johnny. You've tuned in to Rules for Rebels. This is going to be just kind of a daily vlog. I just have a bunch of kind of random stuff to discuss. So first things first, driving into the office right now. Got our first snowfall of the year in Chicago. Not too thrilled about that. Bitcoin crossed over $16,000 this morning, which is absolutely insane. I mean, we ran up several $1,000s yesterday, and I thought we'd have a pullback, and it's just continued to run and run and run. Things are going to be really interesting leading up to this futures market. Just quickly about the whole futures market thing. What I have a hard time wrapping my head around, and I'm not super, I invest in stocks and dollar cost average and index funds and things like that. But I'm not really, I've never done a ton of options trading. I don't really understand the futures market. But here's one thing that I have a tough time wrapping my head around, and if somebody can explain this in the comments section below, I'd appreciate it. I think other people would as well. But my understanding of this futures market is it's going to be settled in dollars, right? There's no actual Bitcoins being bought or traded. And again, I don't know a lot about the futures markets, but I always thought with hog futures or cattle futures or grain futures, there's actually grain somewhere backing those futures. There's actually hogs somewhere backing those hogs futures. There's actually cattle. And, well, I don't think this is done anymore. I think at one time, potentially you could have cattle delivered to your front door. Now, most people don't want cattle, so they would settle in dollars. But here's what I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around is people say that the futures market could cause volatility in Bitcoin. And because their market doesn't actually buy any Bitcoin, it's pretty much just a paper trading market. So I don't understand how that affects the price of Bitcoin, since they're not really adding any volume or any liquidity to the actual Bitcoin market. So if somebody can kind of, what do they call it? Eli 5, explain like I'm 5. That's what they always say on Reddit. I'd be interested in knowing that. The only thing that I can speculate or kind of wrap my head around is if Bitcoin holders look to the futures market to set the value. Well, if they see the futures market tanking, they're going to sell their real Bitcoin, and it's going to cause the real Bitcoin market or the GDAX or whatever else to fall with it. But that's one thing I'm having a really hard time wrapping my head around with the futures market. In terms of altcoins are sky high. If you look at the dollar price of your altcoins, everything's up. But that's also because Bitcoin's gone up thousands of dollars. So when you're looking at your altcoins, look at them in terms of how much Bitcoin they're worth. And I think with a lot of your coins, you're maybe going to see that, well, it looks like it's kind of a weird thing to wrap your head around. So, well, it looks like you're up money on paper, and I guess technically you are up money in terms of dollars because Bitcoin has floated your altcoin up. But if you were actually to sell that altcoin back for Bitcoin, you're actually in many scenarios going to get less Bitcoin than when you started with. So when you're investing in currency pairs and things like this, I think one thing you have to keep in mind is what's your strategy? Like, if I could sell a currency, I could sell an altcoin for less Bitcoins than I bought it for, and if I cash that out immediately, I have more dollars than I started with. I'm actually profiting in dollars. However, even if it looks like you're up dollars, if you're selling and getting less Bitcoin, if you wind up sitting on that Bitcoin, you're actually losing hypothetically, because if Bitcoin price comes back down, you have less Bitcoin than you started with, and now if Bitcoin drops, you're gonna have less money than you started with. So just kind of a ramble about the currency thing. Wanted to talk a little bit about Amazon merch really quickly. Oh, and before I get into that, tonight I'm gonna be doing, I think we're doing a live stream. I'm gonna be doing a live stream with Chris from, I always butcher his name, I wish I would have looked it up, Thrift Shop Hustle. He has a YouTube channel where he kind of, he's really big into flea markets, estate sales, garage sales, thrift shops, picks up stuff, plays the arbitrage game, and sells it on eBay. And he's got kind of a great YouTube channel where you can kind of follow the items that he's picking up and what they're selling for, and offers tips. And I think he's got some videos about, spray paint, how to spray paint and clean up furniture, and just all types of great tips like that. He's also an Amazon merch seller. I believe he's into crypto, and I know he's on Steam as well. I know I've commented on a few of his posts in the past. So going to be doing a live stream with him tonight. Going to keep it real casual. I don't know if you want to call it an interview. It'd probably be more of like a little round table thing where we'll just talk various topics. So tune in for that later on this evening. If you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe and ring that bell, and you'll get a notification when we go live. Probably around 6, maybe a little before, maybe a little bit after. Wanted to talk Amazon merch briefly. So something that I've noticed, and I think people on some of the shirt forums and things like that have commented on this, but one thing I noticed is within the past few days, ever since Amazon started throttling shirts and then suspended uploads, I've noticed that the BSR scores on all my shirts have gone away, and I didn't know if it was just me or not, so I went on a merchant forum and started looking at some other people's shirts, and most merch, pretty much every merch shirt that I've been able to pull up thus far is showing no BSR score. So really weird. Like, I don't know how that's going to affect us in searches. I don't know if Amazon just really doesn't want to deal with Amazon merch stuff this time of year during Q4 and their busy time, and they're just going to kind of delist all these things and try not to show them in search as much. I still have sales coming in. Sales have slowed down a little bit, but yeah, I mean, none of my shirts have BSR scores. Some of my shirts, which are selling 20, 30 shirts a month, like, aren't showing up in searches for certain terms. It's just, Amazon merch is kind of going really, really goofy right now. So maybe I'll talk about that with Chris, the thrift shop hustler, tonight as well. Let's see what else. I lost my wallet the other day, so that's been kind of stressing me out. Had to cancel all my cards. Today I got to go to the DMV, go get a new ID and everything. And I actually had a Bitcoin walleted seed in my wallet, but fortunately it was an empty wallet. It's not one I use. I was just trying out a new online wallet the other day and happened to put it in my wallet and was meaning to put it into safekeeping and start using that, but I'm gonna have to shut that down and get a new wallet. One other piece of kind of crypto news, something I wanted to mention real quick. I guess it wouldn't be crypto news so much, just as a kind of personal experience of mine. So a couple weeks ago, my girlfriend had wanted me to buy her some hats. She likes like all these cutesy, shops online, like, oh, look at these guys sell this face lotion, and oh, look at these guys have these really cute stocking caps. She doesn't really talk like that. I don't know why I'm talking like that. But anyhow, she wanted these hats, and of course they're like overpriced because they're somebody's private label or drop shipping them or whatever. So I always tell her whenever she finds things, I'm like, I could find you that same thing. She bought a bracelet a while back, and she's like, oh, look at this, is handmade by someone, da da da. Paid like $24 for it. It was literally a string with like a washer on it. And I said, I can find it on AliExpress for probably 10 cents. She said, no, you can't. I went on AliExpress and sure enough found it on 10 cents after she and all her coworkers had bought these really cute handmade bracelets. But anyhow, she found these expensive hats. She's like, oh, will you buy this for me? And I said, no, of course. And she said, oh, they accept Bitcoin. So I said, look, if you can figure out how to download a paper wallet onto your phone, or a paper wallet. If you can figure out how to download a Bitcoin wallet onto your phone and set it up, I will pay for your hats. So I had to help her out a little bit, but I was just kind of happy to kind of get her using it because it's something that she hears about a lot from me, but really doesn't have a ton of interest in. So, but when she's able to get a free hat, she becomes interested. So I have her set up a Bread wallet, which I wasn't a big fan of, but anyhow, this website, I think it's called Beardo or something like that. We wind up paying for the hats. About 3 weeks, maybe a month goes by, no hats show up in the mail. She had gotten like an order confirmation, but never got the shipping confirmation, and she's not super savvy with online stuff. So I was like, where's those hats I bought you at? Oh, I don't know, that's weird, it's taken a long time. So she emails them. She gets an email back a day later, or a couple days, I don't know, a day or two later. Oh, we're really, really sorry. You're our first Bitcoin purchase. We've never had one of these before. We don't really know how it works. I think they use BitPay, and I think they were like, oh, we didn't realize that we had, I've never used BitPay, but I guess they were like, oh, we didn't realize we had to batch out the transaction or confirm it. We're really sorry, it's just been sitting. So the hat's never shipped out, so she gets another email from them, and they're like, okay, we're going to cover your shipping. The hats were pretty expensive. The shipping was like $6. She sat around and waited, and she was like, you know what? She's like, I kind of thought they might do a little bit more for me than just, give me $3 or $6 shipping credit. But, whatever. So then, like 2 days later, she gets another email from them, and they're like, look, we're really sorry. I want to do more for you, which I got to give them credit for doing that. We want to do more for you than just the shipping. And I thought they were going to send out the whole order for free or something like that, or refund the order. They were like, we don't know how to do refunds. I think they said they can't do refunds. I'm sure they just don't know how to do it. But we don't know how to do refunds, so we're just going to go ahead and let you pick another item from the store. And I think they gave her the option of like 3 items. And she didn't really like any of the 3 items they offered, but, I suppose it's a nice gesture anyhow. But I guess lesson there is, if you're going to accept Bitcoin for your shop, make sure you know what the process is, how it works, etc. I see a lot of people these days just kind of rushing into like, hey, everyone's into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's like the new buzzword. Let's accept Bitcoin. And they're not. I guess I could care less whether somebody's like a Bitcoin supporter or advocate, or whether they're just accepting it for some PR or whatever else. But either way, if you're going to accept Bitcoin, know what you're doing with it. And even that was my first time, I think, ever actually buying an item online with Bitcoin. Or, you know, I shouldn't say that. I think I bought stuff online with Bitcoins before. But I've never really used like a mobile wallet to buy something online. I hate iPhones. So I was using my girlfriend's iPhone, and I'm like trying to scan the address, and then I'm having to go back to their site, and pages are dropping. And I was a little bit stoned, I think, and I was just kind of frustrated with the whole thing. I was trying to do something on my own. So I think I transferred like $60 to her wallet. The item she was buying was, I don't know, like $48 or something. I accidentally wound up sending the whole contents of her wallet for this hat. So not only did they not ship it out, but I overpaid them by probably $10 or $15 as well, which, as we've seen a surge in Bitcoin, that hat purchase, as well as the overage I sent them, is so they probably got over $100 for that. That had those two stupid hats at this point. But also, I guess stupid on me, if you're using Bitcoin, make sure you know how to use it. When you're your own bank, being your own bank comes with added responsibility. But I'm gonna cut this video off. I got to get into the office here. Got to go grab some money out of the bank, and then head over and get my driver's license replaced, report my Floyd card stolen, all that good stuff. So anyhow, just kind of a random blog. Wanted to touch on a couple things. And if you're free tonight around 6 or so Central Time, stay tuned. We're going to be going live with Chris from the Thrift Shop Hustler. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you later.